do some highlights now.
Time for the highlights, guys. We're gonna get off of this. We're gonna get close again.
Okay.
Let me go around with his room. Oh yeah. Those white highlights are horrible. So this is part of a bigger piece she's working on. So we're just doing the rose tonight.
Yeah.
Like I said, she'll be back. We'll make her come back.
You text the one.
We're also going to have a time lapse of this. Beautiful rose. And there she is.
Hi.
Gary said, wow. Sundeep says, beautiful rose.
Awesome.
This is on her calf.
It's like I could have sworn I poured white, but it like blends in with that.
Where can I follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Delaney Inc. and DelaneyInc.com.
She got me close. Now punching the fish. See how it jumps up. What's your next convention?
My next stop is the United No Limits Tattoo Convention in New York City.
So she'll be in Queens next week and has open
Yeah.
spaces.
Let's do some
Go
fun
book her.
stuff.
What do you really want to do next week? Is there a piece you want to do? If somebody hit you up with it, you just do it real quick? Not real quick, but
yeah. Basically anything like, you know, black and gray portraits, color botanical, like anything you might see in my, you know, body of work on my website or Instagram, like anything like that. You know, I have fun with lots of different ideas. I don't have anything like specifically, I don't think, that I want to do.
how many spots you have open next week?
I actually have all 3 spaces open, so, because it
Yes.
was kind of a last minute decision to do that convention, so I the whole
So,
weekend.
come on, guys. Friday, you got a nice 5-hour piece. Saturday, come on, let's do something. Hit her up on Instagram, give her a DM. Let's get you in. She's usually booked up.
Someone asked what your name is.
My name is Annalie Delaney.
Set up.
Matt is asking where your shop at is at.
My shop is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but I do travel a lot.
He's from Ontario in Canada.
Oh, cool. I'll be in Vancouver doing a guest spot in September.
Some people want to know how long you've been tattooing this piece.
This piece, we've been at it for 4 hours.
She's sitting like a champ.
Yeah.
Someone asked if that was a rotary. Is that a rotary machine?
Yeah, it
He
is.
commented that it's really quiet.
Yes, it is a rotary machine.
It's a new quadrant equalizer. She's using it for the first time.
Yeah, so far so good.
Felix asked, which world famous white are you using?
I'm actually using Eternal White.
What cartridges do you prefer?
I prefer Helios cartridges. Just started using them about 6 months ago, and I completely switched over to them, especially the liners.
Randy is asking how many needles are in your machine. Do you use a lot of white because she can never get the color to stay on herself?
Right now I'm using a 5-round liner, but throughout the tattoo I've used a lot of different needle groupings. I actually am not using any white except for my highlights, these lines. The rest of it is actually pastel pigments, so they're like, you know, there's a certain amount of white in it, but there's also a pigment of pink or purple to give the appearance of white without actually packing white in, because that doesn't generally last.
Marcos wants to know how long has that guy been doing tattoos for?
That's not a guy. Look at her. She's beautiful. Look.
I've been tattooing for 5 years.
Jason is wondering how long does it need to be covered after you get tattooed? He's getting a tattoo next week in Dublin.
Well, I definitely recommend, you know, going with what your artist says. Like, every artist is gonna give you their own set of directions, and they know how their tattoos are going to heal and how they're gonna heal best, so I would just listen to them. I prefer to have my clients keep them wrapped overnight, but that is because we do a lot of saturation in one day with my style of tattoos.
We have a question from Jason that wants to know what's your preferred aftercare.
I actually use Zanabella products. They're locally made in Harrisburg. You know, it's a full line of soap and ointment, but there are a lot of good products out right now. You know, you kind of just want to check for what's organic and what is, you know, really simplistic, not a lot of chemicals to it, something simple. Yeah, so just keep it super clean and keep it moisturized, and it's pretty basic.
Marcos is asking what made you want to become a tattoo artist.
I felt like, you know, all the different types of art that I've been into in the past, you know, were all really fun and different, but this kind of just suited me, I guess. You know, I just never really wanted to work in a place where I couldn't, you know, dress how I wanted or look how I wanted, and so it seemed like at face value it would, you know, suit me for what I wanted to do with my life. And then I ended up just, like, you know, falling in love with it, and now it's just kind of like my whole life.
Someone else says that you tattooing Brian, so you'll have to tell everybody your name and how to find you again.
My name is Annalie Delaney, and you can find me on Instagram, Delaney Inc. That's spelled DeLaneyInk.
Valerie wants to know what part of the body do you think hurts the most to get tattooed?
I mean, for me personally, I didn't care for the hand much, and I didn't care for, like, the, I guess, front of the torso, but you kind of never know until you're already getting it done, and at that point, yeah.
For me, I specifically remember the back of my legs. Really, I had to ask to take a break.
The elbow was disgusting.
I had mine done, and I didn't think it was that bad.
Disgusting.
I have to agree on that one. That one sucks.
Dwayne asked, how do you get your colors smooth and bright?
It's just all practice, really. You know, making sure that your machines are running right, you know, and then the technique of how you blend. A lot of people have different techniques for that, so it's kind of like more your style. But it's really all practice. Just keep practicing.
Alex wants to know, are you using all Eternal inks or just for the white?
I'm using all Eternal inks right now.
Raja is asking, where do you work?
I own my own private studio in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Don Parker is asking how many hours we're into this tattoo piece.
We're at 4 hours right now.
And how much longer do you have left?
Probably like half an hour or so. I mean, we're not actually completing the entire rose, like with the outer petals, since this is a work in progress piece and we're adding more flowers. So, you know, for today's session, we'll probably stop at like 4.5, 5 hours.
Andrea was asking, do you use full-on black for the dark parts or a mix of colors?
I do use black when the reference calls for black. So if I see, you know, a completely black area in the reference, that's what I'll tattoo. And then when I blend it out into another color, actually really like the color Dried Blood. It's from the Eternal Zombie line. It's like super dark purple. It's like almost black. It's a really good medium to blend it into a light color.
We have another question that's asking, what kind of needle are you using for the shading?
I'm using Helios cartridges right now. At this very moment, I'm using an 11 mag, but I've set up for this tattoo with a 15 curved mag, an 11 straight, a 5 round liner, 7 mag, and a 3 round liner for highlights.
Dan is asking if you meant Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Marcos is wondering how much you charge for an hour.
We don't talk about this on live.
Okay.
If you want to talk prices, please hit her up. And where can they hit you up?
You can find me on Instagram, Delaney Inc., or you can send Nora an email to book DelaneyInkTattoo@gmail.com.
Darren is asking what ointment you're using while you're tattooing.
Right now I'm using, it's my own aftercare line by Zanabella, just locally made in Harrisburg. I use it for aftercare as well as tattooing.
Alex is asking if you are by appointment only.
Yes, it's a private studio that I own, so it is all by appointments.
And she has 3 appointments open next week.
Yeah, New York.
Are you all booked up for Inkology?
I am. This weekend I am booked, but the convention next weekend I have 3 spots open.
Alicia is asking your thoughts on Hustle Butter.
I've used Hustle Butter and I did like it. Yeah, I mean there's like tons of really good brands for like ointment to use. I do like Hustle Butter. I think it smells really good and it spreads around pretty easy.
Aaron is asking if you're going to be at the convention in Fayetteville, North Carolina in the middle of April.
No, I'll be in Germany and Denmark in April.
Do you want to tell everybody what conventions you're going to work coming up?
Yeah, so I'll be at, gosh, a lot of conventions this year. So this coming weekend, United Ink in Queens, New York. And then I'll be at the Frankfurt Tattoo Convention in Germany next month. And also be at the Belfast Convention in Northern Ireland in July, as well as the Berlin Tattoo Convention in Germany in August, and the Nantes, France Convention in October, and the New Zealand New Plymouth Tattoo Convention in November.
What's the opinion you're in? 1 to 10.
1 to 10, I'd say 5. People
I'm
always,
using a
people
good
always
bit.
ask, yeah, people always ask, do tattoos hurt? Yes, they hurt. They don't tickle, they hurt. Just depends on how badly you want it.
Yeah, definitely.
Orlando is asking, when do you find flat mags the most useful?
I definitely use them a lot for, I use the corner of my mag to get into tight spaces sometimes, corners of petals, things like that. So I find them useful for that. Curved mags are not going to do that for you, so it's kind of your only option.
Cliff is asking if you're going to be doing anything in Canada.
Yeah, I will be in Vancouver the 15th, 16th, and 17th of September at Liquid Amber Tattoo.
You were asked if you think coconut oil is good for healing a tattoo.
I don't usually say anything about those kinds of things just because, every person is going to react differently to different things. I've never tried it, so I really can't say. Not sure. If you use something and it works for you, keep using it.
William is asking if you can zoom out so you can see the whole tattoo.
There you go, William. There you go.
Benjamin is asking, how do you get the white to stay so well?
Actually not using white, using pastels. So they are a white pigment, but they're also mixed with another pigment, whether some of it's a pigment of pink, some is purple, but I'm not actually packing straight white, and that's how I get it to hold.
Dave asks, can we see the whole leg please down to the foot?
Want to show your foot?
I don't care.
There's the whole foot. You crazy fucks. Tell Nora she's a trooper. Come here.
Cliff asks, nothing in Ontario, Canada.
No, not yet.
Dan asks if you can mention where you're located at in Harrisburg.
I have a private studio, so if you wanted to book an appointment and all that, you can just email DelaneyInkTattoo@gmail.com. Find out more details.
Eddie wants to know what machine you're using.
This one is the Equalizer by Quadron. It's actually my first time using it. It's pretty awesome so far.
Somebody is asking, did you say that you were coming to Dublin?
I will be at the Belfast convention in July, and after the convention I am doing a guest spot in Athlone. So not Dublin specifically, but I'll be, close-ish by.
Darren asked if you could suggest a good tattoo ointment to use while tattooing with very good results.
I've used a bunch that have been really good. Hustle Butter and Redemption are really good. I've never had a problem with either one of those. Basically, I don't know. I have never disliked one that I've tried, to be honest.
Adam is asking, what are your recommendations to prevent scabbing when healing?
I think the very initial process of removing the bandage has a lot to do with scabbing and excess flaking. I feel like the skin is pretty susceptible in that first couple of days, so I always recommend to my clients, you know, when they take the wrap off after a day, after it's had time to kind of ooze and be gross, kind of like I'm doing right now, just kind of clean it off really, really good with like hot water on the paper towel, and the texture and the heat will pull off anything that might be kind of caked onto the surface of the skin, blood, ink, plasma, anything like that. And that way when your skin is trying to heal, it's not trying to heal over a bunch of kind of dried gunk in there, and that's kind of what creates that scabbing. Obviously there's other reasons that your skin can scab, but that's just like, you know, a good way to prevent it, you know, on the client's end of things.
Eddie says, Goat Machine, how do you like it so far? What do you recommend the voltage to be for it?
I was wondering the same thing myself at first. I've been kind of playing around with the voltage a little bit. This is a equalizer made by Quadrin. I'm running it right now at 8.2, but that is because I'm layering. When I was using the liner, I was running it at like 8.5, just to get a little bit more saturation. But I'm not actually sure what your like average voltage is supposed to be, since I am just kind of playing around with it right now. But you know, the skin seems to be fine. It's not like, you know, excessively damaged. So I think somewhere around 8 is probably on the low end. It won't turn on at all under 7. So I usually run mine at like 5.5, but every machine is different. So.
Tony is asking if you're a woman or a man, so do you want to reintroduce yourself and tell everybody how to find you?
I'm Annalie Delaney. You can find me on Instagram at Delaney Inc. or on my website, DelaneyInc.com. I hope I don't sound like a man. That'd be really unfortunate.
You don't sound like me.
No.
I hope not.
You want to slide this in here?
Hmm?
You want to slide this in here?
Let's do a timer.
Dan was asking, how much does it hurt? I mean, it hurts, but you've been putting an antiseptic in there, right?
Yeah.
To help with the pain?
Yep. So we're using the Band-Aid brand wash directly in the water supply. Little John Barrett trick right there.
Your pants are down or something.
So
I think you better look at it.
yeah, so it helps a little bit. It's good to give your clients a little alleviation if you can.
You're being asked, should someone use any lotion or medication like Neosporin?
I don't recommend it for my tattoos that I do. But again, it's really more, you know, listen to your tattooer, listen to what they tell you to do. They know how they work and how the tattoos that they do heal. It's not the same for every person. So just, you know, listen to what they say, the products they would like for you to use, you know. Yeah.
Have you ever tried any second skin products? Like the Tattoo Derm or Taxiderm?
Actually, yes. I do. I have tried Tagaderm and Saniderm, and I think they're really great for situations where you can use them. You know, spots that aren't going to be, you know, under excessive water, like, you know, the back and stuff. It's going to be a little hard to stay away from water with those. But I have found that they're basically a miracle when it comes to people who have like small allergies. Like my boyfriend has a very slight allergy to, you know, pet dander. We have like 3 dogs, so if the tattoo has any exposure to pet dander, which in our house is like 100% chance of that happening, it really does protect it from those kinds of things, so that the tattoo can heal a lot easier. And You know, so for stuff like that, I feel like it works really, really well. But, you know, I can only use it on so many tattoos because sometimes they're, you know, either too big or they're in spots where it just kind of won't go on right. But then again, I'm super new to using it, so that could just be me not knowing how to use it, how to put it on quite right.
A few people have asked your opinion about using the Lubriderm lotion.
Using a lotion like that, like an unscented Lubriderm or Aveeno, you know, I do recommend using something like that after it's healed for several weeks. You know, you'll notice your tattoos may be a little bit scaly, kind of just dry after it's healed. So that stuff does like help with that, especially in the winter when it's dry outside. But as a form for like healing ointment, I don't recommend it. It's not really strong enough. For something like this, I mean, if you're getting like lettering or something really small, it might be all right. But yeah, not as a healing ointment.
Eddie asked, have you ever tried the Edge X? If so, what's your thoughts?
No, I haven't. I don't really try out many machines. This is my first time really like just randomly trying a new machine. I've been using Bishop's basically the whole time I've tattooed. I did try the Dragonfly. I liked them. I've yet to try a machine I didn't like, to be honest. But I usually just stick to what I like. You know, if you have a machine that works for you, just keep using it. Not get overwhelmed by too many things coming out.
You're asked how many hours has it been since we started?
It's been 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Gabriel stated that he uses the machine at 10. Do you think that that's okay?
I think it depends on how you tattoo. You know, maybe your hand moves a little faster. Maybe you don't let the needle out as much as I do. I've definitely seen artists run rotary machines at 10.5 volts, and it was totally fine. It really just depends on how you tattoo. You know, you want to be mindful of the skin. If you feel like the skin is just super pissed off, then you should probably turn your machine down. If it's not, then it's fine.
Shannon Wood is asking where you're located.
I have a private studio in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's called Nevermore Tattoo.
What is your post-tattoo recommendation? Washing. For washing?
Yeah, like I was saying before, you know, just keeping it wrapped overnight to just protect it. And then, you know, once you remove the initial bandage, just cleaning it really, really well. Soap and water, clean hands, and just giving it a good wipe down with a paper towel with hot water, making sure the surface of the skin is totally clear of any caked on blood, ink, or plasma. And then just, you know, for me, like I always recommend like washing it like almost 5 times a day if you can. Like the more washing, the better for me. And then ointment, you know, 2-3 times a day or as needed. Just, you know, got to try to listen to your own body and see how you're reacting, and kind of just be, you know, careful with it, that it's there and healing.
Eddie is asking if you're using Eternal ink.
I am using Eternal ink, yes.
A few people are asking to see the whole piece.
They want you
A
to
few
zoom
people
out a little
want to
bit.
see the whole piece.
It's all super dry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be beautiful at the end.
Carolyn wants to know if you do butterflies.
Sure. Anything nature related.
Here's another question Dave is asking. What kind of healing ointment is good to use for a new tattoo?
Yeah, just whatever your artist recommends. Definitely want to just listen to what they have to say. You know, they know how their tattoos heal, so just kind of want to listen to their judgment.
Darren is asking if you use the same needles in different colors, or do you wash the ink out? If so, how?
I change my needle grouping based on the section of the tattoo I'm working on. These areas would be smaller than these areas, so I want to change up my needle grouping for that. As far as washing the needle out, you know, I do that when I need to switch from a dark color to a light color. But when I'm blending, I generally let some of the ink sit in the tube when I dip into a new color so that it mixes up in the tube and I can get a good blend.
Shay is asking your charging rates. Do you want to tell her how to contact us to find that?
Yeah, so you want to just email me at DelaneyInkTattoo@gmail.com and you'll get a response, an auto response with pricing right there for you.
You're being asked what size of needle are you using?
Right now I'm using an 11 mag, the Helios cartridges.
Dave is asking if you only tattoo women or if you will tattoo men.
No, I tattoo anybody. I mean, I do a lot of feminine stuff, I think, but I equally love, you know, black and gray and like kind of darker subject matters as well. So, yeah.
Tiffany's wondering if you ever come to Southern Cali.
Yes, I do guest spots all the time in Southern California at Guru Tattoo in Little Italy, San Diego.
We have another question. Where's the shop that you work at?
I have a private studio in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Someone is asking if you've ever done a glow-in-the-dark tattoo.
Nope, and I never will.
Why do you say that?
I don't trust it. I like to use the ink from reputable companies that, you know, are proven to be safe to put into the skin. So, yeah.
John's asking where you're from.
I was born in California, and I've lived in Florida, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania, so I don't really know exactly, but I'd say a mix of California and Connecticut.
What kind of ink brand do you use?
Eternal ink.
Are you fully booked for Belfast?
No, I do still have openings for Belfast, so definitely send in an email, DelaneyInkTattoo@gmail.com.
Alan is asking how far your location is from Massachusetts because he needs your ink in his skin.
I guess it would depend on where in Massachusetts, but
From Boston, it's about 6.5 hours.
okay, yeah. And it took me, I think, like 4.5 to get to Off the Map, which is in like East Hampton, Massachusetts. I'm like trying to adjust this.
Tate the barber is giving you a shout out.
Oh, hey.
Kennedy wants to know, when did you decide to be a tattoo artist and what inspired you? How long did it take you to be comfortable to open your own studio, and how long have you been doing it now?
I've been tattooing for 5 years. My studio is a private studio, so I didn't really feel that weird about it because it's not a shop necessarily. It's just me tattooing privately, you know, one-on-one with my clients so that I can travel basically full-time. What was the other part of the question?
When did you decide to be a tattoo artist and what inspired you?
I mean, I feel like most tattooers would probably have the same response, but, you know, I got tattooed really young, and I just thought it was the coolest thing, and I wanted to be a part of it, and, you know, it was just a really great experience. That first tattoo you get makes you feel alive, makes you feel, you know, just like brand new, so I wanted to just kind of like, you know, give that feeling to other people and be a part of something that at the time wasn't really that big. I think it's grown a lot in the past 5 years, and yeah, just it's been awesome so far.
Valerie is asking if you can do a mandala.
Yeah, I love doing geometric stuff. That's kind of my other love other than realism, is doing anything kind of geometric, lace, henna, mandalas, that kind of stuff. You can definitely check that stuff out on my Instagram page at Delaney Inc. and check out some of that stuff that I've done too.
What kind of machine are you using?
Right now I'm using a what is it? Equalizer by Quadron. It's my first time using it, and it's pretty awesome so far.
Miguel is asking what kind of machine you prefer.
I only use rotary machines. I did learn with coil machines, and the first 2 years I tattooed, I did use coils. But I, you know, just me, I prefer rotaries. They're just more comfortable for me. And I normally use a Bishop. It's my first rotary machine. I had it for a long time, and I also have the new Bishop, Nico Hurtado Bishop, that also works great. Yeah.
Baby J Barker is asking what your name is.
Oh, my name is Annalie Delaney, and you can find me on Instagram, Delaney Inc.
Darren is asking if you agree with the scratcher tag for artists learning the trade in their private rooms.
I don't really know what that is. I mean, I'm sure it's something, you know, against, you know, scratching, which is tattooing out of your house without proper, you know, knowledge of tattooing. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the tag is, so I can't really speak to that specifically, but, you know, I do believe that if you want to be a tattooer, if you want to tattoo people for a living or in general, you do need to be trained. If you are trained and then you tattoo at home after, you know, fine, but, you know, you really do need to be trained because you will hurt people or hurt yourself or both. You know, you need to kind of understand what's going on, and only another tattooer is going to be able to show you that. You're never going to learn those things on YouTube or books or any other mode. You know, you need to have an artist with seniority teach you how to be a good tattooer.
Baby J Barker is asking if you also have Facebook.
Yeah, I do have Facebook. You can find my shop's Facebook. I think it's just facebook.com/Nevermore, but I'm not sure. It's Nevermore Tattoo. And you can also find my other business page, which is Facebook Tattoos by Annalie. Not on that as much, though, so I would recommend Instagram, but yeah.
Or you can give them an email.
Oh yeah, you could also just email DelaneyIncTattoo@gmail.com.
Natalie is asking what kind of cartridges you use, or is there a brand you prefer over any others?
I actually just switched over about 6 months ago to Helios cartridges, and I really like them. Before I had only ever used one other brand that is also great, but you know, I just started using these and I really like them. I feel like they're just the best brand out right now, but that's just my opinion.
Jason is asking if you're all booked up.
For
He doesn't say.
my books are closed right now. They open again in April for my home studio, but my travel is mostly open right now. I'm booked for this guest spot, but I'm open in New York next weekend, and I still have spots available for Belfast, Ireland, New Zealand, and the Berlin Convention in Germany.
Tony is asking if you are a woman or a man.
I'm a girl. I swear my voice apparently sounds like a dude.
Trojan Art wants to know what kind of white ink you've been using.
I've only been using white for the highlights at the very top. All the rest of it is actually pastel. So they're all pastel pinks and purples. Sometimes I pre-mix them, and other ones are just brands from Eternal.
Sandeep is asking which brand of color you'd like to use.
I use all Eternal inks. I have the whole time I've tattooed. Yeah.
Bobby's asking where the convention is at in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, it's in New Plymouth. You can find them on Instagram, NZ Tattoo Convention.
David asked, why have you been switching to the cart instead of regular old school cups?
To the
How we
cart.
doing?
Oh, for my ink. Actually,
Yes.
that's my first time trying that today.
When she leans forward, it's like...
There's a lot of hair.
Yeah, I know. And it's like half shaved off too on the bottom.
Is it?
Yeah, and both sides of my head are shaved like all the way up. If it was all of it, it would be a nightmare.
Did you answer David's question about the cards
Yeah,
instead of
I've-
the cups?
Yeah, I think he means the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually never used it before today.
She's doing a lot of first today.
Yeah, but I mean, it cut my setup time like more than in half. To not have to like individually pull each ink cap out does the same thing really. Just makes your life a little easier.
David is asking where you're located at.
I have a private studio in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You can find out more about that on my website, DelaneyInc.com.
Welcome to life. Good to ask you the same question.
John is asking, how do you keep the area so clean when using color?
I use a lot of ointment and I change my paper towels as often as possible. And every time I stop for a second, I clear off the entire tattoo. I don't use any green soap or anything, just water. Yeah, basically just keeping it clean as I go.
How much longer do we got?
Probably like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's about 20.
I know, right? Everybody makes fun of me for that. I'm the worst at time estimates.
Stanley Johnson is asking what your preferred machine is.
I guess. I mean, I've used a Bishop more than I've used any other machine, but you know, I've used a Dragonfly and I really liked that. And I'm using this Equalizer and I really like this one too. So, I mean, I always just say, you know, when you try something and you like it, just, you know, stick to it. No need to switch up machines all the time.
People are wondering how to spell your name so they can find you.
Oh, I mean, you can find me on Instagram or my website, and it's Delaney, Delaney, INK.
Or you can click the description that goes straight to our Facebook page.
Yeah, my first name is Annalie, and it's ANALI. Because no one knows how to spell that. Everyone just calls me Delaney, like my first name, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
When Ryan first met you, he would always say Anali.
Yeah, I know.
Do you get
Him
that a
in
lot?
like literally every school, doctor's office, like any place they've ever announced my name in a public setting has always been that, and it drives me like up a wall.
I hate when people call me Sam.
Like they
How
just
hard-
ignore the I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard is it?
I
I
get
don't
Laura a
know.
lot. It's Nora.
When
What
I
it
say it
is?
every time, they go Sam, I go E.
Yeah. I always feel like an asshole, but I always like correct people because I'm just like, I don't want them to keep saying it wrong, so I have to correct them like at the beginning of the conversation so it doesn't get weird later when I'm like, by the way, that's not how you say my name.
Terrence is asking if this is the first session.
On the rose, yes. The rest of the stuff on the leg, no.
We've been going for what, 4.5 hours now, just on the rose?
Yeah, we're at 4:45 right now, and we're about to be done for today. All right, that should do it. Gonna be adding more stuff around it, so if you're wondering why it's just faded off, that's why.
Yeah, James is asking if we're going to color the rest.
Not today.
Yeah, not today though. It's gonna be surrounded by other flowers, so we're just gonna kind of fade off those petals for now.
You'll see her again on live.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we also did cover some scar tissue right here. If you see some textures there, Laura did have a scar. So yeah, there it is.
Here, I'll turn it. Everybody keeps asking about the whole piece.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all unfinished for now. Just like moisturize that a little bit.
And that's it.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys.
And where can they find you one last time?
One last time, it's I'm Annalie Delaney. You can find me on Instagram, Delaney Inc., or my website, DelaneyInc.com.